What's going on? What's going on? So we're about 15 minutes away from the school. It's about a 45-minute drive from where I stay, so it is a distance. I am going to be about like 15 minutes late, so that's the unfortunate part about the distance. But you know, I guess a couple things I like about my mentee. So for those that don't know, I've been doing Big Brother Big Sister for about 4 years now, I want to say. Wow, time flies. And the main reason I did it was really just because I understood the value of having proper guidance. You know, I have my parents and all that. I have good influence around me. You know, I've always had that around me. You know, whether it was my parents, whether it was friends in school, whether it's upperclassmates in college. You know, I had good people around me, and I understood the value of having that around me. And I'm aware that a lot of people do not have, oh my goodness, a lot of people do not have that luxury. You know, a lot of people don't have the right surroundings, the right people around them. And I feel like a lot of time that really changes the trajectory of your life. You know, how things, turn out for you. What are you exposed to? Because that's what people choose, what they want to do. And so, when I first started off doing Big Brother, Big Sister, I wasn't really sure what to expect or anything like that. But looking back, I'm actually glad I did it, just because, you never know how you're going to be impacting somebody's life. Of course, it could seem like some type of like boring class to like a little kid or whatever the case may be. But to some, you never know the type of impact that you're going to have on them. So like my first two mentees were cool. The first guy was African guy. I want to say like maybe East African. The second guy, he's a black kid. Or I don't know if I'm okay to say that. Yeah, it was a black kid. But I don't know. They were both a bit shy, and I'm also like a very introverted person. So one thing I'll say with the first two matches, so what I'm gonna say now is the match I have now is probably the best match I've had, just based off of interest, based off of our conversation, based off of our like style. Like we're very common. Like we have a lot of the same interests, like whether it's business, whether it's, our favorite creators, like he's in tune with, social media and all that. So we connect on like many different levels, and I think that really, has helped our relationship. But the previous guys that I was with, one of them, he was very much school oriented, didn't really do much, outside of that. And then the second one, he was in ROTC, and I don't really know much about ROTC, to be honest. But this guy, he likes business. He plays sports. He plays soccer. He has goals of playing, sports. And I remember I had that same, drive and ambition when I was younger. And school, he's not at the best in school, compared to the last two guys I was with. And like that made sense for me, connecting with him. And ever since then, we've kind of like chatted a lot. Like the way I am now, I'm very like open to like his way of like how he thinks about things, but also helping guide like how his thoughts are. Like I kind of let him do what he wants to do, let him be his own person, but at the same time guide him and say, all right, well, think about this or think about that, or what about this or what about that. That's part of what you bring as a mentor is, hey, these are some of the mistakes that I made when I was your age. I would look out for these things here because, of how it affected me or how it did to me. So one thing I like about my mentee is that he's very open-minded. He listens to, that probably doesn't always pay attention, but like, he's a cool guy. I'm not gonna lie. He's cool. I've gotten him on this, I got him on this app called Best Brokers. So it's an app that I used when I was back in high school, college. So it's a stock simulation app, and essentially they give you $25,000. It's free. It's fake money, but it's $25,000 to kind of use however you like, and you'll buy stocks and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And it really simulates the stock market so that you can see how the market goes. So what I had him do like last year was to have him like put some money in different areas, guided him on how to choose some stocks, make sure he chose some stocks that were, familiar to him. So like Apple, you have an iPhone, so yeah, get Apple. or, you know, you like to game, you know, have you heard of NVIDIA, you know? And just try to make those companies more relatable to him, you know, as a freshman, well, now sophomore. And so I think he took well to that. So he started off at 25,000. I want to say now he's around 45,000 now, which is really good. And so anytime I meet him, or anytime we meet, you know, in person, you know, I'll bring out my stocks, which is, you know, real money, and then I'll bring out his, and we'll see whose is where and who has the higher amount. So, you know, it's pretty cool, you know, being like that big brother to him. I think he has brothers as well too, but, you know, just a different, I don't know the word, side to it, a different, what's the word I'm looking for? Influence, I guess I'll say that. But yeah, so I am in heavy traffic right now, and I hate that because it's 6 o'clock right now, and it's like, bro, it looks like I'm still gonna have more traffic up ahead. Let me get out of this lane. But yeah, if you are somebody, that's another thing too. If you are somebody who's interested in becoming a mentor, I'm gonna put a link in my bio just for you to join as well too, because we need more mentors, especially men. We need more guys mentoring the younger kids too, because, bro, man, you gotta help the people behind you. That's the way I see it. You know, the way I think about it is like, bro, think about, you know, if you had you when you were younger, like, where would you be at? Like, I think about it like, if I had me when I was younger, I would have been doing so much other different stuff. But since I can't do that, you know, let me be that for somebody else. That's the way I think about it. So, you know, it don't cost you nothing to become, you know, a mentor. Is just time, you know, and it's not a lot of time, to be honest. Like, y'all see how busy I am, you know, with this, you know, real estate stuff. I was doing it with the engineering stuff as well too, and they make it to where it's not too time demanding. So I meet with my mentee once a month, and then we have weekly different topics that they talk about in class, and then they'll put in the app, and then, you know, they have different prompts for the mentee to talk to, and then, you know, my job is just to respond to him and, you know, guide him on his answer. So like, he was talking about, you know, resume building, because they do resume building. I was telling him, oh yeah, man, back when I was sophomore, like, my resume was trash. But, you know, as you get older, as you get more involved in like the school and all that type of stuff, then you'll have, you know, more stuff to put on your resume. And so, I don't know, I just kind of like put myself in this position, let them know that, like, yeah, right now you're probably not going to have much, but one thing to start doing is get involved in, you know, your school, you know, start, you know, becoming part of clubs and stuff like that. Or if you're on a soccer team, you know, try and be team captain and put that on your resume, because even, you know, coming in as a team captain, that comes with responsibility, that comes with leadership. You know, those are things that they may not be an internship or something like that, but, you know, the same qualities apply. You know, you still have to lead a group of men. You still have to, you know, be in tough situations. You have to call people out. You have to cheer people up, you know, things like that, you know, that require, you know, those leadership soft skills that, you know, you don't get from anything else. You know, you get that from sports. But yeah, I'm out of traffic now, so I'm probably going to pick the camera back up probably when I'm done with it. Yeah, I'll probably pick it back up then and tell y'all how it went and give y'all a little recap. But yeah, be a mentor to somebody, even if it's not through a specific organization. Reach out to somebody who's younger than you. Like, I don't want y'all to think like, man, like, I don't know, what do people be thinking? People think like, ah, man, like, I don't know much, or I don't know, do people think like that? Like, they don't know much? Like, if you're older than somebody by even like a year sometimes, bro, there's always something to learn. Like, everybody has their own experience of life, and all this is just learning from each other. So like, I still be learning from younger people than me. So you can always learn from somebody else. I be learning from, you know, my mentee sometimes. Not as much, of course, but, you know, I still learn from him. You know, I learn more about myself too, and how I see myself, you know, being a parent eventually and all that, and how I, you know, guide them. You know, I think about that too. So yeah, don't think like you have nothing to offer or anything like that, because you never know what type of light you'll inspire into, you know, the people that are before you or after you, you know. So yeah, there's always stuff that you can pass on. You know, part of life is passing on information to other people. That's how we got to where we're at today. That's how I'm able to record this, you know, this video on this device. Somebody had experience from before and passed to somebody else, and they built this thing. Same with our cars, same with our iPhones, same with all this technology that we have right now. It started off somewhere. It started off, you know, with Henry Ford and that, you know, the stupid car back then in the whatever 1800s, 1900s, whenever that time was. You know, we all started off with a specific foundation, and a lot of what we have today is knowledge that was built on top of each other. So look at it like that. You know, you're just investing into somebody else and paving the way forward, or paying the way forward, whatever the saying goes. But yeah, if you're watching this and you're at least 18 years and above, go mentor somebody, go help somebody, you know. That's it. I'll show y'all what I can. Hold on. That's the school right there. I guess I can't zoom in. That's weird. I'm gonna pick it back up when I get back inside the car. See y'all soon. While we're waiting on these cars to pass, because usually whenever we back out or whenever I try and leave, it's always like a big traffic jam, especially when all the grades are together. All right, so just wrapped up the Big Brother, Big Sister mentorship. When I was leaving the school, I seen my mentee at the side of my eye, and I heard him tell his friends, "Hey, that's my mentor." No, not gonna lie, that was kind of cool. But today's conversation was cool. Like, I can tell we're both like getting cool with each other, which is good to see. A lot of what we spoke about today was really us just catching up. Like, we didn't even do, like, they have like stuff for you to do just in case. I don't know, I feel like they do it just because there might be some like awkward silence between the two of you, so it's always cool to have something to do while you're talking with your mentee. But we honestly didn't need that. We didn't do any of the, I know they had some like cookie decorating competition and like ugly sweater and all that type of stuff. We didn't really do any of that. It was a lot of just us talking about business. Like, first and foremost, we talked about grades, talking about his grades. He's not doing good in geometry. He's not doing good in, is it history? History, yeah, I think it's history. Not doing good in history. But he said he's gonna pass those. So you already told me that he's gonna do that. But one thing I told him about that was just my experience with, you know, with grades. You know, back when I was in high school, wasn't the best kid in high school, didn't have the best GPA. I think I had a 2.6 GPA. I was bottom 10% of my class. Like, I was not focused on school when I was in high school. And I let him know that, like, bro, I understand, but at the same time, whenever it's time for you to apply to colleges, it only makes it that much harder. So I think right now he had a 3.2 GPA, but for like this semester, he has a 2.6, and he's a sophomore. And I'm telling him, like, bro, if you get a 2.6, it's gonna bring your grade down to like a 2.8, 2.9. You know, you can't afford to do that, especially this early, and we haven't even gotten to like the hard classes yet. And I was telling him, you know, once you start applying for schools, like, that's one of the things they're gonna look at. They're gonna look at your GPA and they're gonna look at your SAT score. And, you know, both of them have to be synonymous. Both of them have to make sense. And if you have a low GPA, that means you have to do really good on the SAT. At least that's how it was when I was, you know, back in school. And I let him know the consequences of that, like my own consequences of that. So like when I first applied to schools, I applied to U of H, applied to UTSA, applied to Lamar, and applied to PV. The only school that accepted me without conditions was PV, and that's why I went to PV. All the other schools wanted me to take some type of course, some type of summer program or whatever kind of situation. They basically, like, it was like a conditional approval. Like, I have to go through something to go be into the program. I don't know. It was a lot, and I didn't want to do that, and that's why I ended up going to PV. You know, but I knew I wasn't dumb. I knew I just didn't apply myself in high school. I was so focused on trying to be, play football, like I wasn't really paying attention, and I didn't really like school. So I communicated that to him and let him know, like, hey, that was my situation at the time. Should I turn on the light so y'all can see me? That was my situation at the time. And so yeah, I was just informed him on that. Like, yeah, although we talk about business a lot, business is cool, but at the same time, you got to make sure, your grades are good as well too. Especially, because I think he's at a point now where he's not even sure about college and all that, which is cool. But I'm like, man, even if you do want to end up going to college, you want to make sure that your grades are in line. And, you don't want that to be a crutch when it's time for you to graduate and you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Like, although business is cool, business is good, but, you can't depend on business, especially starting off, fresh out of high school. It's not the best path forward, or it's not the best path forward, it's not the best path forward. After we talked about grades, we got back to business. So he showed me his stocks. I want to say he's at like $42,000 right now, which is pretty good. And then I showed him mine. I think I was up by maybe $3,000, $4,000 more than what he had. So we're kind of like neck and neck, which was good. And then we also talked about, am I going to reverse now? And then we also talked about marketing. So he's in a business class right now. And one of the things that he's learning about is marketing, because they have different projects they're supposed to do every now and then. Let me just say that. Every now and then they have a project, and we talked about marketing and his business that he was working on this time around. Last time he did t-shirts, this time he did creatine gummies. And I was like, all right, well, like on some, like, sell me this pen. I was like, all right, sell it to me. Like, how do you sell me, these creatine gummies? And, try to do like a little role play so he can see, all right, if I'm walking into a store, how would he do it? But he didn't have all that prepared. So, he was kind of fumbling. But like, one of the main things I was talking to him about today was just the, having the mindset of, whenever you're selling something, understanding the problem first. What problem are you solving? What solution are you bringing to the table? Whenever it comes to marketing, whatever product that you're offering, I do real estate, but if you're doing creatine, I'm walking into your store. You didn't even ask me, like, what are my goals before you started trying to sell me it. Sell it to me. So it's like, number one, you got to know, the product that you're selling. That's the first thing. And so we just talked about that. And then we got into a rabbit hole about marketing. And then I showed him, like, my marketing, like, for my business, because he asked me, all right, so as a real estate, I can tell he kind of did some research on being a real estate agent, because he was like, all right, well, there's a lot of real estate agents. How do you set yourself apart? And I was telling him content. Like, that's how I do it, because, it's hard to set yourself apart with so many people, but the only way you can do that is really through content and showing people how you work and how not good of a person, but how professional of a person that you are. And so by posting on social media, you kind of get a glimpse into how that person is as a person and working with that person. And that's how people decide on if they want to do business with you or not. That's how I've done it now. And so I've always told them, yeah, like that. And then also doing good business as well too, because at the end of the day, people going to refer business to you. I mean, at the end of the day, once people experience you, once you have people that really love you, they will champion for you a lot of times more than yourself sometimes. There's a lot of people. There's one guy in particular that I'm thinking about now. He's probably one of my, I didn't treat him any differently than any other client, but because of such a great experience that he had with me, he's telling all his friends and family about me. Hey, this is the guy that you want to go to. You're trying to buy a house, you want to build something, you want to do something, that's the guy you need to go to, always. And he's always done that, and I appreciate him so much for that. So shout out to him. He knows who he is. So, shout out to him. But that's just off of doing good business and treating everybody the same. You can't treat people differently just because the price tag is not the same. Like, that same guy that I was working with that, tells me about his friends and family, the deals that we did together were small deals. They were, the first one he bought was a condo. Condo was $180,000, $190,000, wasn't big. Next thing he bought was some land. not more than what, 160,000, 150,000 land in Little Elm, you know. And then this year or last year, it's like, hey, I need to buy a $1.1 million house. We already found it. We just want to put your name on it. That's off of doing good business, no matter the price tag. So that's just a testament, just to show you that, you know, how you do business is going to determine on the trajectory. How you do business determines the trajectory of where you go in your business. You know, you always got to do good by people, do right by people. And I was even telling my mentee this too, like, you know, you're not going to see eye to eye with everybody, but at the end of the day, you always want to make sure that there's no bad blood between y'all. You want to make sure that the line of communication is always there, because you never know when you're going to need them. You never know. And so we spoke about that as well too. So yeah, so now his task, because we're not going to see each other till wintertime, all right, till next semester. So number one, he needs to do good on his grades, but then number two, he's going to be coming up with a business idea that he's going to start doing on the side. So right now he already resells clothes he resells clothes on what's the name? I forgot what that website is. I think on Facebook he said he resells clothes. And I told him, like, yeah, he only does it on Facebook, but I'm like, bro, you can have a whole Instagram page. And I was like, nah, I even told him, like, bro, why don't you do it at school? And I was like, bro, what you can do is have a page, post all the clothes that you have, because he was like, he don't have a car or nothing like that. And I was like, that's cool. You ain't got to have it there, but just have people can place orders for what they want. So if you buy some stuff and you need clients, post the clothes, and people are going to reach out to you for it. So this is like the same thing. So yeah, you just post good deals too. Let people know. So like a lot of what today we talked about was really just marketing, and how to market yourself. So I showed them my Instagram page for my business. I showed them one of my friends' page, Mo. I showed him his page. But it's like, bro, yeah, if you want to reach people, you got to post online, let people know what you're doing. And so he understood that. So I told him, yeah, make a page. If you're reselling clothes, post it on your page so people know. And if they want to purchase from you in person, you know, then take orders online. You know, have a form and something like that built out, and then go from there. So yeah, that's how I would do it personally. Like, because when I was in high school, I spoke to him about selling candy at school. You know, I served a need. You know, that's what I was telling him today too. It's like, yeah, you gotta look out for a need or a problem in your area or your school or your city or whatever the case may be. You know, whoever can solve the biggest problem makes the most money. That's what I was telling him. And I was like, all right, so think of a problem like in school, like what are people having? And I gave him an example, like, all right, think of like the lunch lines. Like think of like nowadays you would build an app, but think if you could like place an order for the food so that when you come to lunch, you ain't gotta stand in line anymore. Like think of a problem like that. And I think hopefully I got his brain moving and jogging a little bit more on like, you know, how he wants to go about it moving forward. But yeah, I mean, these are the reasons why we need more, you know, mentors, because bro, kids be wanting people to bounce ideas off of and like do things with, and it's like, bro, they don't really get that. That's why I go back to saying, like, if I had me when I was younger, I'd be totally different. Like I'm hoping that he's receptive to it as he comes off, because he comes off as he's like taking in everything. So I like that. But I really hope he applies it too, because if he applies it, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, especially if he's starting off young. Yeah, reselling clothes, posting them. So yeah, I don't want to ramble off too much because it's already been a while. Be an inspiration to the youth. I'm gonna put a link, because they sent me a link. I'm gonna put a link in the bio for those that are interested in becoming a mentor in Texas. In Dallas, I don't know about Dallas, but I'll check the link out again before I post it, and I'll put some more details in the description. Yeah, if you want to become a mentor, be one. You know, somebody needs you out there. That's it.